What's up, party people? Beez the Chaplain here, and welcome to the channel. This place is all about fun and positive vibes. We've got daily devotions from Monday to Friday in the mornings, and also the occasional gaming and a little bit of fun and laughing on the side. I'm using this platform to build relationships with anyone online across the globe. This channel will also occasionally raise funds that will go to initiatives and programs for a really good cause. So feel free to participate and donate through ongoing competitions. So if you are a gamer and you just wanting to have some fun and you're wanting to meet new people and join a great new community, join the channel. We'll meet up and we'll just have a lot of fun. Peace out and God bless.
Let's do this.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Daily Devotion with Beez. I'm your host, Beez the Chaplain. Happy Friday. Happy Attitude of Gratitude Day. And for my brothers and sisters who are in the States at the moment, happy Thursday night. Doesn't have the same ring to it. But yeah, for the Sydney siders out there or the people in Australia, we have reached the end of the week. Last day of the work week. So praise the Lord for that. And I just want to say good morning to everyone. Good morning, Mum. All the way from the motherland, all the way from Mauritius. My mother's watching on Facebook. Good morning. I hope you're keeping well. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Thandi. I hope you're both keeping well as well. And happy Friday. Happy Attitude of Gratitude. James, your boy. Good to see you. Good to see you on Twitch. Long time. I haven't been joining because I have this so-called super flu and I felt so sick. Hey, man. Actually, I'm going to add you to the list. James, I got myself a prayer list going, which is kind of better now, but still not 100%. And it's been a week. Hey, man, I know that last week you were telling me that you got some assignments and like pressures on school coming up. So I hope that the illness hasn't kind of knocked you off your game, off your your study game, and I hope you've been able to keep better and keep on to it. But yeah, once again, awesome, James, because you're the one that tells me, man, I gotta go. I can't watch you play video games, Beez, because I actually got to study. I actually got stuff to do. I've reached a point in my life that my study life, I'm still studying, but there's the major studies I got to do. That's over, so I can still enjoy myself late at night. I'm in my downtime, when work finishes. But anyway, glad to see you. Glad to have you on the channel, man. And glad to know that you're feeling a lot better. Good morning, Buzzy Harvey. And by the way, thanks for the follow yesterday on Instagram. I really appreciate it. I hope you're keeping well. And I'm not too sure if you're connected in any way to Orlando, but that's the only other Harvey that I know. But I met Orlando at summer camp. So if you are and you do get in contact with him, or you please reach out to him, tell him I say hi, tell him B says hi. And it's just really it's awesome what he's doing with like the skating and the skateboarding and stuff like that. If you don't know Orlando, then don't worry about this whole thing. Anyway, I'm gonna start my devotion. Because it's a bit of a story. Oh, you're his mum. Oh, thank you for joining the channel. Tell him I say hi, send him my regards, and tell him to keep it up with all that the awesome stuff that he's doing with not only the video editing and his content online, but the skateboarding as well. It's so awesome. Okay, let's get into the devotion this morning. I've titled this one, You Gotta Love Him. This one is called, You Gotta Love Him. Okay, now the reason why is because I'm going to tell you, I had an experience yesterday that really, it was like a mirror. It was like God put a mirror up to my face and said, this is who you are, Beez. This is not who you are, but this is who you are right now. Right? This is like because of the circumstances, because of the situation, because of your life. This is your picture right now, Beez. And to be honest with you, I don't know. I feel like I got a blue tint. Yeah, that's better. Because of the situation in my life, I was looking at it. I was like, I know I could be doing better. Or I know, God, you could be doing better in my life. Or I'm willing to have you do better. And it was just this interaction that I was like, oh man. So it all started when I had CPE, which is clinical pastoral education, yesterday. So as a chaplain, there's a course that helps you really take time for self-reflection, take time to become aware, become a lot more mindful in your role, who you are in your role, how you act in your role, establishing boundaries, setting yourself up so you are protected in your role. All of this stuff that helps you be the best in your role as a chaplain. And I'll compare that. I'll do a bit of a comparison later, but for now, that's what I did yesterday. And it was a pretty heavy session because we're talking about issues and challenges that we face in chaplaincy. And I'm in the prisons, so it's really it's full on. Once again, good morning, some guy. Good morning, Westerly Life, and good morning, Arush. Hey, man. Thanks for the chat yesterday. Thanks for reaching out. I'll be praying for you, keeping you in my prayers, Arush. Hey, family, we gotta pray for Arush. We'll do a season of prayer afterwards. But I'll start with this story. After I finished the CPE session, I went to the gym. It was really fun. I was chest day, so I'm in the car. And this is the problem, right? The gym is like 5 minutes away from my house, right? It's at the tram sheds. And I live on a main road-ish. Not main, but like a busy road. And I decided to leave. And I wanted to leave at 4:30 because the traffic's not that bad. Because I was fluffing around and, get energy drink and whatnot. I end up taking time. And I'm leaving at 4 to 5. Peak traffic. Or that's where traffic really hits. That's where the worst out of Beez comes out, right? And so I'm there, I'm stuck in traffic, ends up taking like 15, 20 minutes to get to this gym that's 5 minutes away. But there's a major set of traffic lights on the way to the gym. And I pull up and I'm waiting. And I know this traffic light takes its time, because it's a right turning one. And then there's a main road coming this way. So it's like, oh, we don't care about the people turning right. I personify the lights like they don't care about me. Anyway, and all of a sudden I'm just chilling in my car and I've got the window down, and all of a sudden I hear this voice, hello, and I turn and I'm like, what? And he's like, hey, how are you? I turn, hey, there's a kid, right? There's a kid in the passenger seat, young, I'll probably say about 12, max 13. And he goes, hello. And I have to not double take, but triple take. And I'm like, hi, hey, how you do? I was like, hey, and he goes, how are you? And I'm like, I'm good. I said, look, I'm good. I'm a little tired, but yeah, I'm all right. What about you? And he's like, I'm all right. And I said, yeah. And he goes, oh, how was your day? And in my head, I'm like, what is happening? Right. And I said, man, my day was a bit tough. I'm tired, but I got through it. It's good. And I said, how about you? How was your day? And he goes, oh, And I'm like, you don't respond. A 12-year-old kid, when you ask how was your day, you don't respond, oh, and he did. He was, oh, And I said, oh, you had a tough one, eh? And he's like, oh, no, it's just a regular, school. And I'm like, yeah, I get you, man. I said, oh, but no, it's good. It's good that, the day's coming to an end. You know what I'm saying? It's home time. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, so where you headed? And in my head, the more bizarre I felt, the more awkward I was, because I knew that eventually he's going to lead me into this awkward moment that the light's gonna turn green and we're in this conversation. And in my head, that's what I'm processing. It's like, how am I gonna not make it awkward just in case this thing turns green? And I gotta cut him off, mid-sentence, because he wants to have a D&M with me right now. He wants to get to know me, be best friends. And I said, and he goes to me, oh, so where you headed now? And I'm like, oh, I'm headed to the gym. And he's like, oh, okay. And then and throughout this conversation, I'm looking around and I'm like, am I being set up here? Is this, what's it called? Am I being punked? Is this like a prank show? And I turn and his dad's there, right? He's in a tradie ute. He's just chilling. And his dad's looked over. He was like, oh. And this kid was just, for me, the interaction was so bizarre because it seemed like he was so innocent and he was just really chilled. And we just had this conversation. And then I said, oh, I'm going to the gym. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Well, yeah, have a good one. And then, man, praise the Lord. Like, as soon as he resolved the conversation, that's when the light turned green. So it actually worked out. There was no awkwardness. And I was like, oh, thank you, man. Have a great one. See ya. And I left. You know what's funny is that kid will probably forget that entire conversation today. Like he probably, and the funny thing is, I don't know, like for one, I don't know why he leaned over. He probably, because he said something to his dad. It may have been because of my hair, or it was like, it's cool or something. But I tell you, that conversation for me seemed exhausting because I was second guessing everything. When God kind of put that mirror up to me, it was unfortunate that I couldn't see the innocence of this interaction. I couldn't see the purity, or I couldn't in the moment appreciate how wholesome that conversation was. What I'm looking around is, hey, this random kid's starting to talk to me. You know, the first thing I'm saying is like, am I talking to it? I'm like, kid, stranger danger, man. You don't do this, right? But then I looked, I had to check his dad was there. His dad was cool. And then I'm starting to question him. I'm like, are you being smart? Are you, because he was talking to me and he had a big smile on his face, right? Sorry, I just spat. There's this, it reminds me of this movie that I watched. It's called Major Pain, right? And it's an old movie, but I'd say it's one of the greatest. If you haven't watched it, Damon Wayans' Major Pain, and P is spelled Payne. It's about this guy who's in the military and he's like a machine killer, like a killer who's been just trained to kill, goes to a military academy to train cadets, like a military boarding school to go train cadets. It's a comedy. It's a family comedy. And there's this one particular time where he helps this kid out, right? And this kid just like, because he gets rid of the boogeyman that's in the kid's closet, and then the kid goes to hug him, and then she's like, "Oh, thank you, Major Pain, I love you." And then he's like this, and he's like, and then all of a sudden he twists him, turns him, and puts him into like a full Nelson or a headlock, and he goes, "Are you plotting on me, boy? Like, what are you doing?" And I felt like that. I felt like I couldn't just appreciate the wholesomeness or the innocence of this conversation that this young person wanted to have with me. I was looking around. I was like, oh, you know, is it appropriate for me to talk to him? Am I allowed? And it's not that right or wrong kind of thing. It's just that I was second guessing everything. I was just to the point where after the conversation, right, I was like, nah, this kid was like, he was taking the mickey, like he was laughing at me, or he wasn't. When I came, and the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because there was a massive difference between this kid and me. I'm supposed to be the older one. I'm supposed to be the wiser one. I'm supposed to be the one who has a lot more life experience and all this kind of stuff. And here I am questioning, doubting, second guessing everything. And this kid is just having a conversation with a brother. He's just having a good time, and he's just having, like, you know, he's having a chat, building a relationship, and the whole thing was innocent, and the whole thing was, in my opinion, the whole thing was amazing, because he was just wanting to build a relationship. He just wanted to connect, and there was no agenda. There was nothing attached to it. There was nothing hidden. There was nothing loaded in that. He would just want, hey man, day's over, school's finished, and I just want to celebrate the fact that I'm not at school. What are you up to? Yeah, oh, okay, cool. Have a good one. Laters. And it just showed me. And the funny thing is, when that happened, right? He's being nice to me, and he's all good. When God put that mirror up to me, he was like, Beez, where were you? And what I just did, right? Because I'm at the set of lights. The thing that moments ago, I'm talking like a minute ago, right? I'm in the same set of lights. And the reason why I hadn't moved is because there was a clown in front of me, right? There was about 4 cars in front of me, and when that light goes, you have to go, or else you get stuck. And so in that one, light turned green. First car went, second car went, third car went, fourth car, the one in front of me, decides not to move, or he wants to take his time. And so I'm like, hey, hurry up. They all go, and as soon as that guy, the fourth car goes, he it turns red. right? He goes during the yellow. Why? Because he took his sweet time and he didn't he wasn't onto it. He wasn't onto it and he didn't he waited, right? So what did I do before I had this conversation with this kid? Right? God is saying, it was funny because God says to me, hey, Beez, think about what you just did before. What was I doing? I blew out the guy's tires with my finger guns. That's what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm doing these ones. I'm like, yeah, good on you, mate. Because in my frustration, I'm blowing out this guy's tires with my finger guns. Imagine this kid saw me. Imagine this kid saw me be a clicker, road rage and doing these ones because the light turned red. It was just amazing how in that interaction, God was able to reveal a lot of things about me, right? And these are the kind of things that I think he reminded me that in my life, God, like the circumstances in my life, God has made, not God, I have become very cautious. I know, better a finger gun than a real one. Absolutely. Yeah, what I've learned is that I've become very skeptical. I've become very impatient. I've become very doubtful. I think and I become very jaded. I've become very guarded. And though I know, and I definitely know that there is reason why I'm like that. And sometimes and boundaries is healthy. Boundaries is a must. But it just seemed that because of the circumstances or because of how I've lived and stuff, it seemed that even that wholesome, innocent, pure conversation, I was doubting, I was second guessing, and I couldn't really appreciate it for what it was. There's a passage that's found in the Bible, and this is the funny thing. Even when I was preparing this message, I was like, what's an appropriate title, right? Because I'm like, I don't want to put the title, I love kids, because there's no innocence about that. Even in my head, I was like, Beez, you can't put that as a title. You get locked up, homie. You work in the prison, right? So I was like, you got to love them. Yeah, I'm talking about the innocence of children. I'm talking about the youth. And this is what's funny is I want to talk to you about a passage that's found in Matthew chapter 18, verse 1-5. And I'm going to read this because this is how I know that God still needs to do work in me, right? This is how I know. I'll read it to you. Matthew chapter 18, verse 1-5. It says this. At this time, the disciples came to Jesus and asked, who then is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? Man, these disciples, it's not even about that. But who's the best? Oh, who's the greatest? Oh, how do we be at the right hand? And all these guys. And Jesus is like, hey, man, you know what? Here, let me school you on something. He goes, who is the great? The disciples go, who then is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? Who's going to receive the most blessings? Let's talk about compare and compete. Let's talk about the competition. Who's going to get the more stuff? Who's going to get the better reward? And then Jesus is like, he called a little child to him and he placed them among them. And he said, truly, I tell you, unless you change and become like these little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Unless you change and become like one of these children. Therefore, whoever takes the lowly position of this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoever welcomes one such child in my name welcomes me. What I love about this is that Jesus reminded me of that passage in that interaction that I had with that young child, right? He was like, Beez, unless you change and become one like one of these children. In my heart, what God was telling to me, what God was saying to me was, Beez, unless you let go of all of this anger and you let go of all this these negative thoughts and these thoughts that lead you to a mindset of like being skeptical and doubtful, unless you lead that and let me change you, right? You're never going to make it, man, because you're just going to be, it's not going to work for you. You're not going to live an abundant life. Sure, I will protect you. I will provide for you in my wisdom, boundaries that will protect you and keep you safe and keep you secure, not only for you, but for everyone around you, including these children. But you need to get out of this mindset where everyone's guilty until proven innocent, that the world is out to get you, that the world is, because there is still innocence, purity, wholesomeness in the world. Right? If God is still moving, then that's what I need to believe. And this is what Jesus is telling me. He's saying, Beez, you need to change, man. You need to change. You need to get rid of the finger guns, man. You need to get rid of finger guns and live a life of wholesomeness, of innocence. And you know how that's going to happen? You're going to change because of me. You're going to change because of Christ. You're going to change because Christ is in me, transforming me. And for me, another thing that I like is it says, you will, in verse 4, therefore, whoever takes the lowly position of a child, and it's not, I just need to be dumb. It's not ignorance is bliss. It's understanding the world, being aware, being mindful, but also allowing innocence to flourish, allowing God's wholesomeness and purity to flourish, and embracing those moments and embracing those experiences where these interactions can showcase the love, the innocence, the purity of Jesus Christ. I learned so much from this kid, right? I learned the fact that he doesn't care, right? He's not worried, right? He's protected. His dad's there. Nothing's going to happen to him. But he's there and he's willing to put himself out there to say, hey, I want to build a relationship with you. I've got no hidden agenda. And that's another thing God wanted to do and what God wanted to school me. He's saying, Beez, not everyone has a hidden agenda. Not everyone has loaded questions. Not everyone wants that. Perhaps people just want to be as innocent as this kid who are feeling in a space of loneliness and are just desperate to connect. Perhaps people are just over the fact that there is so much loaded questions, so many hidden agendas that they want to completely shift and change and just recreate a world where we can just have simple conversations, wholesome conversations, love one another, support one another, encourage one another, and say, okay, see you later, have a great day, and drive on to the next set of lights. For me, that's what I learned, because I really struggle with that. And this is where I feel going back to that prison idea in CPE, in what we were learning is in prison, I can't do that, right? In prison, I have to be aware because, I got inmates who were perhaps wanting to manipulate me, who were wanting to, get me into a system where they can trap me, or blackmail and all that kind of stuff. So I have to be hyper aware. And in prison, we are instructed to not give the benefit of the doubt. It's like, unfortunately, because of the system, because of the way that the environment is set, because of the crimes that have been committed, we have to say, you need to prove yourself as innocent, like innocence. Not in regards to the charges and the sentence and all that, but who they are. They need to prove themselves as innocent because we have to see them as guilty. The world is not like that. And because, and God reminded me of that yesterday, right? God said, Beez, take a snapshot of this experience. And I need you to remind you that I am still encouraging you to see the best in people, right? To see the innocence in people, right? And if that's not the case, God is going to protect me in that anyway. But he's saying, I don't need you to be jaded. I don't need you to set people up to fail and say, you are guilty until you prove me innocent. Jesus is like, no. That's not what I've done. What I'm doing is I'm wanting to give you the opportunity to experience wholesome, pure relationships, right? But also at the same time, I'm going to protect you. I'm going to establish in you, in your mind, boundaries that are going to keep you safe, right? And so for me, and it's this thing of being willing to change, being willing to set myself in a lowly position, not out of ignorance, but out of humility in saying, God, will you teach me, you lead me, you help me, so I can once again embrace experiences and celebrate, unique, innocent, wholesome experiences like I had with that child yesterday. I hope that's also the desire of your heart as well. That the fact that, we what's it called? That we have the opportunity to celebrate Jesus Christ. We have the opportunity to celebrate the love, the joy, the peace of Jesus Christ with the interactions that we have with others. But are we stepping into those interactions with the jaded perspective, with the skeptical perspective, setting them up to fail, the whole experience up to fail? Or are we allowing God to move in that space and say, hey, let's make the most of this. Let's celebrate joy. Let's celebrate love. And in that we are able to allow God to protect our hearts, to protect our minds, to give us boundaries so we can appreciate them as well and feel safe in them. That's what I wanted to say. That for me, my attitude of gratitude today is I praise the Lord that He used he used this young child as a catalyst to show me how far I've come, right? How much the world has impacted me to turn me into a person where I'm like quite skeptical, I'm quite doubtful, I'm very paranoid, or I second guess other people's intentions and all this kind of stuff. And God's saying, man, that's exhausting. I need you to come back to me. I need you to change. I need you to celebrate, rely on me, and I will help you in that. So this interaction, you can celebrate it. You can celebrate this kid's wanting to build relationship, and you can ultimately be a person where you can go and do the same thing, right? That though there's other people in the world that may see and be doubtful and skeptical of you, that's okay. That doesn't mean that that stops you from showcasing God's love. I'll leave it at that. But I hope that that's a word of encouragement to us. Let us celebrate the innocence. Let us celebrate the wholesomeness. Let us celebrate the purity of genuine, non-loaded interactions without agendas, right? And if we don't have them, and if we don't experience them, then let us be moved. Let us be transformed by God so He gives us opportunities to be them. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'm gonna close in a word of prayer. By the way, hey, good to see you, Orlando. Thanks for the follow. Pretty sure your mom's told you to link up with me, but it's all good. Hope you're keeping well. Let's have a word of prayer because there's actually a few things I'd like to pray about. So let's pray. Heavenly Father, the first thing I want to pray about is the celebration of youth, the celebration of young people. Thank you so much that in your word, you've told us how we can live an abundant life, that the greatest in the kingdom of heaven are these young people. And Lord, I just want to pray and uplift to you all the families that were impacted by what took place a couple of days ago in Texas. Lord, I just pray for a miracle of change. The same way that you were able to hold a mirror up to me in where I was in relation to my experience with this young person. Lord, I pray that you be with the leaders, the people in authority, and hold a mirror up to them to see what circumstances that are taking place around the world that are causing so much harm to these young people. Lord, I just pray a prayer of thanks that you are a God of love, that you are a God of healing, that you are a God of comfort, that you are a God that is present. So, Lord, while there are many broken hearts, while there are many tears, and there's a lot of mourning in the world, especially in Texas, Lord, I just pray that you be with them, remind them of who you are, remind the families of who you are, shower them and envelop them with your comfort and your love. Lord, I pray that you be with us, that you continue to reveal to us how, you created this world for us to experience your love. You created us so we can experience not only relationship and an abundant relationship with you, but giving us the opportunity to do that and share that with one another. So I pray that though the world has changed us, though the world perhaps has made us jaded, skeptical, doubtful, Lord, I pray that you can provide healing in that. You can provide just wisdom and guidance in that. Protect us in those spaces, ultimately to the point where we can actually celebrate those experiences of innocence, those experiences of just wholesomeness, those experiences where the Spirit is present and where you are there. Lord, I pray that you continue to be in our hearts so when the world shows us there's not much of that going around, that we can be catalysts for you and we can provide wholesome, pure, innocent conversations that aren't loaded and that do not have an agenda. Lord, I pray that you continue to be with Nancy and her family. I pray that you be with her brother. Continue to guide the physicians and the people who are operating on him. Lord, I pray that you be with James as he recovers from his sickness. He's super flu. And Lord, I just pray that you be with him and the students of Gilson College in their studies. Lord, I pray, I uplift to you Arush. Brother's going through a bit of a tough time. So I pray that you remind him of who you are in your comfort, that you're with him as well, and you're protecting his heart. And Lord, I finally pray yeah, just a prayer of thanks. Um, I think I've missed something out, but Lord, you know my heart and you know my mind. I thank you that we can celebrate with an attitude of gratitude the lessons that we learn and what we can do and how you can change us to experience an abundant life. And we just want to say thank you for that. Thank you for today, and give us the opportunity to showcase your love. I ask this all in your loving name. Amen. Thank you so much for joining me on for another daily devotion with Beez. I'm your host, Beez the Chaplain. Thank you for joining me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube Live. This is a little update as well. Oh, the poetic alien. Hope you're doing well. Hey, you got a hey, and thanks for rating. I really appreciate. Oh man, thank you, the poetic alien. Yeah, really appreciate the love. Kuni, hey, hope you're doing well. Good to see you, Riyadh, my brother. Thanks for joining and good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. I just want to also share that for any Sydney sider out there, if there's any person in Sydney, if you got no plans for tonight, and you're youth or you consider yourself youth, I'm going to be running a Bible study, not so much a Bible study, but a Bible discussion. At Parramatta Church tonight at 7:30. I'll put the post on my on my Instagram feed and also on Facebook. But yeah, if you've got no plans and you want to be part of the discussion, we're going to be talking about negative thoughts and how they impact our lives and how God can give us victory when we're confronted with negative thoughts, and being able to detach ourselves from the idea of, oh, I am an angry person or I'm an impatient person. Because I've said that many a time, but I think God is wanting us to, unhook from those thoughts. And we're just going to explore the idea of how we can do that. Because I know with a lot of, in conversations that I had with young people, there are a number of young people who experience anxiety and because of the compounding, overwhelming feelings of and negative thoughts that are constantly there. So 7:30 tonight, Parramatta Church. I don't know if they're going to put a feed on. Have dinner before you come. If not, go and check out their what's it called? Their Facebook page, Parramatta SCA Church, and you'll see their youth leaders. Just give them a message and find out if there's going to be a feed. If not, I'll bring some snacks. I'll bring. Oh, here I am making false promises. I'll bring the word. I'll bring spiritual food. I'll bring the bread of life. Y'all can provide your own. But yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining tonight. Today. I'm looking at the poetic alien, and I know. Poetic alien, are you in South Africa or are you in the States? Because he looked at. I looked at the post and it said good evening. So hope everyone enjoys the rest of the day. I've gone way over time, but thank you so much. Thank you for the words of encouragement. And I also want to say thank you for the engagement between the Imagine crew and what we're doing. Really looking forward to doing work with the Imagine crew with this online content, whether it be on this channel or the Imagine channel, and how that works. So looking forward to that, guys and girls. Have yourself an amazing weekend. For the people in the States who haven't reached it there, Friday is just around the corner. Everyone else, have yourself an amazing weekend. I will see you Monday for a daily devotion with Beez at 7:30 as we start the week off. And by the way, Karen's coming back. My mom's in Mauritius. My dad just landed in London. Karen is, I think, just left Scotland. So everyone's still jet setting, and I'm seeing different photos of people either in the country or on the plane and stuff like that, and I'm like, wow, must be nice. Anyway, but tomorrow Karen's coming. Please continue to keep her in your prayers and all my family that are traveling at the moment, keeping them safe, because I know the monkey pops, the Cocoa Pops, the monkeypox is out there. If I can ask that you just keep them in your prayers. Also for the people that I mentioned, yeah, for the people in our community, we got like Arush, who's just going through a tough time. James, your boy, who's just recovering from, sickness. But then we got Nancy and her family, especially her brother, who's having a leg operation today, or over the next couple of days. Keep him in your prayers. Also, just the families that are in Texas, the community that's in Texas. And this is and the reason why I'm really reluctant about saying, oh, let's keep them in thoughts and prayers is because at this point in time, thoughts and prayers, nah. Like, this is where real change, this is where we are praying. We're praying to God to move, and we're asking the Holy Spirit to move, and we're asking for miracles now, and not just because of the circumstance, but continuity. So yeah, let's really diligently pray for that. So I shouldn't have said, oh, thoughts and prayers is nothing, but yeah, let's be intentional about that. And if you have any prayer requests, please let me know. Please put them so I can add it to the list. We got a list because we got a community, and we're not just praying for ourselves, but we're praying for our community. So let's continue to do that. Let's continue to encourage one another. I'm going way over time, and I know that people got to go to work and school and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Have an amazing weekend. See you 7:30 Monday for sure. In the meantime, stay safe, stay blessed. Peace out. Much love. Thanks for joining. God bless you. See ya.